What did you hear today about how the Patriots organization and Robert Kraft specifically reacted to that post?
Yeah, I mean, people have been speculating about it all day. How does a Robert Kraft feel? A lot of people think probably he's not feeling too good about what happened today, just being left out of the Instagram post. And I was told earlier tonight, you guys, that Robert Kraft, it was an unpleasant day today at the executive offices in Foxborough, and that Robert Kraft initially, when he first heard the news, was very upset, and he was screaming and he was yelling, and then there was significant temper tantrum that he threw after he read this IG post. So he was not happy about it in Foxborough, and I'm not surprised, but to see to hear about the outward emotion that he showed regarding this post was a little bit surprising.
Play clock at 5. Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Unreal. Jason White. He's in. Patriots won the Super Bowl. Brady has his 5th. What a comeback.
This is All Eyes on the Pats podcast.
Welcome to All Eyes on the Pats podcast. I'm your host, Steve Atkinson. This is episode 3. What you heard before I played the intro was Ted Johnson on Boston Sports Tonight talking about, with Felger and Holly, that was from last night, talking about what Robert Kraft thought about Tom Brady's statement, and he had a temper tantrum. You know, and if I'm Robert Kraft and I'm walking into work yesterday morning at One Patriot Place, I'm going, oh, okay, so Brady retired. Oh, let me read his statement. All right. So he starts off by saying it's difficult to write, but he's calling it an NFL career. And then I'm going to go to page 2, and he's talking about his Bucs teammates that he had for 2 years. And he's talking about the fans and the city of Tampa and the Glazer family. Okay, all right, maybe the next page will be the Patriots. Nope, Jason Light, the general manager of the Bucs, the head coach, Bruce Arians. Thanks for putting up with me. To all the coaches and everybody, to every single Bucs staffer and employee, no word of the Patriots yet. To Alex Guerrero, to Don Yee, to his agent, to his parents, his family, Michigan, everything except the Patriots. If I'm Bob Kraft yesterday morning, I'm going, what the fuck is this? I drafted this guy. He was here for 20 years. We gave him everything, and he didn't mention us in his retirement statement? What the fuck, Jonathan? Like, what is going on? If I'm Kraft, I'm pissed, right? So I believe that Ted Johnson is correct, that Robert Kraft did pull a fit yesterday. If I was Robert Kraft, I'd pull a fit too. But let's look at how we got here. Because it didn't have to end this way. He didn't have to go to the losingest organization in the NFL to prove a point. He could have ended his career where it started. How did we get here? Well, let's look at 2017. 2017, Belichick bans Alex Guerrero, his trainer, from the facility. He doesn't want his players training with Brady's trainer. He wants his players training with the Patriots trainer. Brady gets pissed. Then, in 2018, Seth Wickersham releases a piece that there's a rift going on between Brady, Belichick, and Kraft. They go to the Super Bowl. They lose to the Eagles. Belichick and Brady go to Kraft's house. They have a meeting. There's some tension going on. They try and work it out, but Kraft knows that there's something going on, and they try to hash it out. Giselle and Brady go to Kraft's house, according to Jeff Darlington's book, The Dynasty. And Giselle is pissed on how badly Belichick treats Brady, and she says to Kraft, why does he treat Brady like he's Johnny fucking Foxborough? It's bullshit, the way he treats him in meetings and whatever. In May, of 2018, Brady says, I plead the fifth to Jim Gray's question on if he's been respected. Pleads the fifth. Okay. 2018 comes. They win the Super Bowl to the Rams. 2019. He signs that extension that voids out after the 19th season. They can't franchise tag him. So then he becomes a free agent. Well, no, I'm sorry. Before they lose the wild card game to the Titans in the 2019 season, but it was January of 2020, they lose to the Baltimore Ravens. And Brady says, I am the most miserable quarterback in the 8-0 quarterback in the NFL. Brady becomes a free agent. During the 17, 18, and 19 season, Brady said, I want a multi-year deal, and Belichick continuously said no. I want to go year to year. Brady wanted 2 years and $50 million like Drew Brees got in New Orleans to have him retire a New Orleans Saint. And Brady and Belichick said no. So, if you're Brady, you're like, why would I come back here to sign a 1-day contract with a team that didn't want me in 17, 18, and 19 and didn't commit to me? I'm going to say thank you to the grounds crew in Tampa and the people of Tampa and the organization that committed to me. And now I'm talking as if I'm Brady. They gave me the commitment, and I won a Super Bowl with them. I could have done that in New England. I could have done that here. But you didn't want me. You said no. So I went to the losingest organization in sports. I played for that boob of a coach, Bruce Arians. Win, lose, we booze guy. And yeah, there was tension in Tampa too. It wasn't all roses, and no, because there was. But the tension he feels in Tampa, it doesn't feel strong to him because there's really no feelings for Tampa. He just said, oh, thank you, Tampa, thank you, Tampa, thank you, to stick it into the Patriots' face. To stick it in Kraft's face so he can pull a fit and say, why is he thanking the grounds crew of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but he can't say thank you to the organization that meant so much to him and he won 6 Super Bowls with for 20 seasons? Why can't he do that? Why? Belichick was pissed too. He did release a statement tonight saying, I'm so grateful I drafted him. I drafted him. Not that idiot coach down there. I'm the one that drafted him. I was privileged enough to draft Tom Brady. I'm the one that brought him here, not that guy. He just took our system, brought it down there, and won a Super Bowl with them. There's no meaning for them. And the Patriots want Brady to retire a Patriot. They want Brady to come back here and retire a Patriot. Here's Robert Kraft with Willie McGinnis on October 3rd, the day of the Patriots-Buccaneers game, saying when Brady retires, he wants him to retire a Patriot. Here he is with Willie McGinnis.
When Tom, last year, in a different uniform, was hoisting up the Lombardi, I
gotta bring that up.
No. Listen. I'm just being serious. Certain things went through my mind because I played with Tom. Certain things went through a lot of people's mind. What went through your mind of seeing somebody you pretty much gave birth to hold up the Lombardi in another uniform?
Well, if we can't win it, I was happy he won it. I know that's strange, but he did so much for us. And look, we had 20 great years. How many other situations are there in the 102-year history of the NFL where, a coach and a quarterback have remained the same for 20 years? I don't think there's another situation. So, and life has its twists and turns. And look, I'm always rooting for Tommy, except when he's playing us. And in the end, I hope and believe he'll come back here. We'll give him his red jacket, just like we gave you, and he'll retire a Patriot.
We hope to give him his red jacket, and he'll retire a Patriot. One of those things is happening, and one of those things is not happening. He's not retiring a New England Patriot. Because if he was going to do that, he wouldn't be in Tampa right now. He wouldn't have said thank you to Tampa Bay, because he would have never been to Tampa. He would have stayed where he belonged, in New England. He'll come in October 3rd. He said, I'm going to be back here when it's all said and done. And I thought last night, I took that as he's retiring a Patriot. No, he's going to come back here and get his red jacket and be in the Patriots Hall of Fame. That's what he's going to do. But if I'm Robert Kraft and I hear him say that to Willie McGinnis in October, and then all these months, and then a few months later, he retires and he doesn't mention the Patriots organization, I'm bullshit. I would have flipped out. Kraft's a fan first. He's been a fan since he was born. His dad was taking him to games. He's been here since he was born. Like, he's a fan first. He went apeshit. I'm sure he did. I'm sure he went, what the fuck is this? He didn't even mention us, but he mentioned the grounds crew in Tampa? What is this? Jonathan, you got to see this. Like, what is going on? Why didn't he mention us? But Belichick and Kraft took the high road and released a statement. Kraft did yesterday. Belichick did tonight, 24 hours later. But Brady did other things too before the Patriots let him go. I want to say he left the Patriots too, but he did some slight digs when he was here, just like he did the Netflix cameo he did when he came out of the day spa. Here's that clip.
First time? You? 6.
So, when that came out, Brady was pissed that it came out, and he didn't know. He claims to not have known. That came out during the 2019 season. That was his last year on this team, on the Patriots. So, obviously he knew what he was going to be getting himself into when he did that. He knew the script. He knew what he was coming out of. He claims it was a green screen. Bullshit. He knew what he was doing. This statement of his retirement from the entire league, where he thanked everybody but the team he was with for 20 years. And I thought last night that it was going to be more was coming, more had to be coming. I even thought that this morning. Even a little bit after I heard Johnson's the clip of Ted Johnson saying he, Robert Kraft was pissed that Brady didn't acknowledge the fact that he was on the Patriots for 20 seasons in his statement. I thought maybe he'd still come back here. But as the day went on, thinking about it, it's like, no, he's not. And then after hearing Tom Curran talk about it last night, like, I'm going to play it in a second. But he said it. And I'm just going to play it. This is what Tom Curran said last night. I think it was on Early Edition on NBC Sports Boston. If Brady's going to retire a Patriot.
Will he make all of this good to Patriot fans by coming back, signing that one-day contract, and actually retiring as a Patriot? Do you see that happening?
No. And it's for the simple reason stated. He will be back. I'm sure when there's a Patriots Hall of Fame ceremony to honor him, he'll be back. He is said numerous times how important this region is to him, where his kids grew up. He's going to be here. He's going to be here plenty. But I think there would be a level of hypocrisy in that signing of a one-day contract by the Patriots if they orchestrated that, because they would be trying to have their cake and eat it too. Chris just stated it well, and I think we can all agree on that. Brady wanted to stay here. Bill Belichick wanted to move on. Philosophical differences. Brady expected Robert Kraft to swoop in or hope that he would. This, I don't think, should be a damaging moment in the relationship. It's probably a hell of a lot worse than he thought it was going to be. He should have really mapped it out a little bit. But the notion of a one-day contract when they wouldn't give him one in 18 or 19, I think would be a bridge too far.
So a one-day contract, when they weren't going to give him one in 18 or 19, when he wanted one for 2 years to have him retire a Patriot, isn't going to happen. Would be going too far, Curran says. And I agree with him. I agree with that. Why should he? Why? The team in Florida that was kind of built to win now brought me in, I won, that was it. I'm going to say thank you to them and screw you. I'll come back and and I'll get the red jacket and be in the Hall of Fame, and of course I will. But I'm not signing your one-day deal. Absolutely not. I should have done that 2 years ago, and I'd be doing it right now. So he's bitter about it. And the Patriots could have. Let's talk about that for a few minutes. Say Brady signs the 2-year deal, right? Okay, so they don't draft. Say they have a bad year last year. Say last year in 2020, it's not a Super Bowl team, but they make the playoffs and they lose in like the divisional round or something. Fine. This year, you spend a lot in free agency. You get Christian Barmore. You draft Christian Barmore. You draft Stevenson. You get Hunter Henry. You don't get Jonnu Smith. You get Kendrick Bourne. Maybe you get Mac Jones. Maybe you don't, because who knows, right? Depending on where you are in the draft. Mac Jones maybe does he go further than 15? Who knows? You don't know. Maybe you get Davis Mills or another quarterback. But you have Brady for 2 years and you get one more championship. You could have been on the doorstep for a championship this year, and he could have walked away after he wins his championship, maybe his 7th championship, because he wouldn't have won one in 2020. He wins one here in 21, his last year, and he retires a Patriot. That would have been awesome. But unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way. And he had to go to Tampa Bay, who hadn't won anything since 2002, and take what he learned in New England and move it to Tampa and win a championship there. To me, I blame Bill. I blame the Patriots. And Brady. Brady should have at least mentioned yesterday the New England Patriots in his statement, because he mentioned everyone else. That's petty. That was bullshit. He should have mentioned them. For him to take it out on the fans, he did by not mentioning them. Okay, and the retweet was just like, oh yeah, I love you too, after Robert Kraft released a statement, and he retweeted it with a comment, I love you all, I love Patriots, I love the Patriots. Okay, how come you couldn't say it in your statement? And I know it's petty, but he was petty by not putting it in the statement, and Belichick was petty by not giving him the 2-year contract so he could end his fucking career where it belonged. So his retirement speech itself, his whole retirement, is about Tampa Bay. And that's how he's going to go out, as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, because they gave me the contract. They gave me the Drew Brees money that I wanted from you. And Robert Kraft's in his office yesterday going, what the fuck is this? I drafted this guy, and he's thinking everybody under the sun in Tampa, and he gives us nothing Zippo. Zip. Like we don't even exist. We just drafted you? And then Belichick releases a statement today. I was privileged enough to draft the quarterback. Not like the coach down there who didn't do anything. Was just stand there on the sidelines wearing his strap over his whatever that was he was wearing on the sidelines. Brady will forever be part of this legacy, will be the Patriots. What he did was petty, like I said. But they should have given him the contract 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And we wouldn't be having this conversation. We wouldn't be doing this. And honestly, I enjoy it because I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for number 12. You know, writing, doing what I'm doing right now. It's fun. It's fun to... It was fun watching him day in and day out, like I said last night, go into every single championship game and try and win. He took everybody that was bad and made them good. Rashae Caldwell, Jabbar Gaffney, took him to the 8th championship game in 2006. Wes Welker came from, like I said last night, Wes Welker from the Dolphins. Edelman, undrafted. Danny Amendola. I mean, anyone. He just lifted him up. Scotty Miller from Tampa. He lifts them up. He makes them better. On both sides of the ball. His leadership does that. His leadership makes them better. And Tampa's going to be a shit show. I'm sorry. I don't believe in the Buccaneers without Brady. Okay? I'm sorry. They now are back to where they were. And and as the Patriots, they have a quarterback. They have Mac Jones, so they landed on their feet. Last year they didn't, right? But they have Mac Jones, and they can build off Mac Jones. All they need is a receiver. So Brady's now out of their face, which they're happy about, but they're also slighted because Brady didn't mention them yesterday. And Kraft cares deeply about his legacy and the Patriot name and what it means. And he knows Brady's a part of that. And for him not to mention that went up Kraft's ass sideways. Like I said, what the fuck is this? We brought this guy in here. Jonathan, what is going on? But he took the high road and released a nice statement. But I'm sure he went on the phone and said, what kind of statement is that? You're thinking the grounds crew in Tampa, but you don't think us? You're thinking every single staff member in Tampa, the guy that poured you coffee every morning, whatever. The guy that cuts the grass? Like, what is this? So, like I said before I go, do I think he's going to retire a Patriot now? No, I don't, because of the timeline of how we got here. If he wanted to retire a Patriot, Belichick would have said yes, and he would have signed that 2-year contract, and he'd be a fucking Patriot right now. Instead, he's still a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. He will always be part of this community in the 6 Super Bowls. Great. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers gave him what he wanted. And the Patriots were like, nope. Okay, then when I retire, I'm not mentioning you in my speech, my statement. Is that petty? Yes, it's petty. Did Belichick and Brady make up in October? Yeah. Yeah, when I come back, when it's all said and done, I'll come back and do the red jacket thing, but I'm not going to sign the one-day thing because I wanted the freaking contract. That's all. So I'm probably not going to do another show until next week. But I hope you guys have a great week. I just wanted to, get those things off my chest from last night. And, I had different thoughts on the Brady stuff because it's such a obviously a big story. So hope you guys have a great week. And go Pats.